Hey everybody, it's Ryan Woods, otherwise known as Lady Maga USA, and I am about to record a podcast for the Path Forward Utah, and I have so much compelling content today and so much fun stuff to go through, so I thought I would live broadcast this on Facebook as well with you guys. Because I'm trying to up my game. I see all these people like live streaming and they get donations and everything. And I have a degree in broadcast journalism. I've actually won awards for things that I've done. So I feel like this is kind of like what I want to do. So I'm just practicing today with you guys. And it's the Path Forward Utah podcast. You can go to fedbyravensmedia.com. That's fedbyravens, RAVENS, media.com. For the full audio afterward. You can also go to Path for America, PATH, the number 4, America.com to listen to all the other podcasts on here. We've got, a Black conservative, we've got a psychologist, we've got a Latino conservative, and of course we have me, the picnic basket, who just adds a little, rainbow sunshine and sparkles to the whole thing. So I'm going to start off reading you something that I wrote not long ago that I really want to share with you because it's really funny and it's really fun and I think you'll really enjoy it. So I've got the producer of this podcast right here in front of me on the laptop. I've got a second old cell phone right here with all the things that I need to look up. I've got a ring light. I've got you guys. So I'm so happy that you're here. All right. We're 30 seconds out, so I'll be checking in with you guys as we go along, but just listen and have a good time. We're going to start with something fun. I got my pom-poms. All right, and I'm about to get the signal, and then we're live, and people are listening. Hello, Lynette. Hello, Corina. All right, he's going to give me the signal. All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Path Forward Utah podcast. I'm so glad you're here today. My name is Ryan Woods, otherwise known as Lady Maga USA. If you're from Utah, you've probably seen me here or there at different rallies across the state. And I am a drag artist. I love to dress up. I love wigs and I love makeup. But I will say until the day I die that there are two genders and the LGBTQIA+++ movement really has gone astray. And it's crazy. And I'm actually live with my friends on Facebook right now. You can find Lady Maga USA on Facebook. Just search in the little search bar, Lady Maga USA. And you can find all kinds of fun content on Facebook. I was kicked off of Instagram, so Facebook, this is my family. I love you guys. So we have so much to do today. I have like a whole notepad filled with all the things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about very serious things, but we're also going to have fun. So I prepared something fun for all of you listening on the Path Forward podcast. By the way, if you'd like to access all of the different podcasts, go to pathforamerica.com. And before I begin, I would just like to give a shout out to the founder of this podcast and the founder of Path Forward Utah. Her name is Jamie Renda, and she is one of the most motivated and incredible patriots I have ever known. She's like a sister to me. She takes care of me when I'm sick. She watches out for me. She loves me and I love her. And last night, her father passed away. And I just found that out this morning. And so to all of you listening, please send prayers and love to Jamie. If you know her or you follow Path Forward Utah, please send her some love because I recently lost my mom and I know the pain of that. So this woman is the owner of Brixton's Cafe, Baked Potato Cafe in Ogden, Utah. It is such a delicious, fun little place. And she has been an avid and outspoken conservative Trump supporter from the beginning. She created the Trump Tater, this hilarious character. It's like a big potato with the Trump hair. And she goes to the rallies and she faced major discrimination at her business. Like people hated her for supporting the president. She was harassed, but she openly put Trump stuff up in her cafe windows and everything. So if you are in Utah, please go to Ogden and go to Brixton's Baked Potato Cafe, owned by my dear friend Jamie Renda. And once again, her father passed away yesterday. And this lady, not only does she manage her business basically for free, she takes care of so many different patriots. She's involved in so many different organizations. As you know, I'm president of the Log Cabin Republicans. She's involved with us there. She's involved in Blexit, Utah. Blexit is the black exit from the left. You all know Candace Owens. She's the founder of that. So long story short, I love this woman, and I'm doing this podcast today thanks to her. And so before we begin, okay, so now, if Jamie, sometimes she listens, sometimes she's not, but if she is listening, I hope this cheers her up. All right, so here we go. I got my little pom-poms. I don't want to touch my wires. All right, here we go. Let's get silly. All right, let's go, Brandon. Let's go. LETSGO, LETSGO. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go. BIDENNO, BIDENNO. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go. Communism? Hell no. Communism? Hell no. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go. All right, so let's go, Brandon. Let's be excited. For all of you listening, I'm going to dive into something that I wrote that I'm very proud of. It took me forever to write this. It's actually the story of how I was attacked by Antifa in San Francisco. Many of you may have heard of Scott Pressler. He's one of the greatest patriots in the nation. He goes from city to city and he does cleanups of, impoverished areas that are like filthy and disgusting, and he cleans them up wearing Trump gear. And he always gives speeches and everything. And he says, this is a movement based on love. And so I went to San Francisco to help him with the cleanup. And we got there, we gathered, there were some speeches, it was amazing. And we walked through San Francisco cleaning up. And, as many of you know right now, I'm cleaning houses to make ends meet. And so I'm not a stranger to cleaning up gross messes. But this was exceptionally disgusting because there was human feces everywhere, cardboard boxes, needles everywhere, like drug needles. I don't know what they're doing, meth or heroin or whatever. So we did this huge cleanup. But before we started the cleanup, there was a group of people who started harassing us. Keep in mind, we were there to clean up San Francisco, okay? We were there to do something good. We were there not just to be like, rah, 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 Trump, but to actually like dive in and get involved in the community and clean up. So this group formed, and as you can imagine, they had, purple hair, shaved side of their heads, tattoos, gauges. They were a rough and tumble, hot topic shopping group of people. But they sort of calmed down. There were a few people in the group who started fighting with them, and I never support that. I don't like the anger. I don't like the fighting. I actually was able to communicate with one of them. This girl came up to me, and, I just looked at her and she said, you're gay. Why are you doing this? And I said, sweetheart, can we just talk? I know you're here because you're afraid. I know you're here because you're hurting. I know you're here because you believe in what you're standing for. But there's just so much that you probably don't understand about President Trump, about conservatives, about the Republican Party, and about people like me. So we started talking, and I could tell that I was reaching her because she was like, what? You're so different. So she and I had a conversation, but her friends, the Gestapo, they came and they pulled her arm and they said, don't talk to him. Stop talking to him. Don't associate with him. And it was really sad that they pulled her away. So the group of people, once we started cleaning up, there was a group of about 5 people who were trailing us with cameras, and they were following us. And one lady had purple hair, and she every now and then would get into a screaming match with another gay conservative, because there were like tons of gay conservatives there. They had like their rainbow shirts on. They had their, rainbow Make America Great Again hats that they bought on Trump's website, because Trump is such a homophobe that he actually sold rainbow Make America Great Again hats. So anyway, this is my blog, and unfortunately, I chose to use the word SHIT throughout this blog, but I'm not going to say the word shh. I'm just going to say shh, okay? Because on the Path Forward Utah podcast here, I think a lot of our listeners are in Utah. And so, we got the Mormons, we got the good people out there, and I am not one who likes to use profanity, But the reason I used the word SHIT is because there's no other way to describe San Francisco, like without using that word. So what I'm going to read you and share with you is called "My Nightmare in Nancy Pelosi's Shhole." Okay, we're just going to say shhole. All right. So every time I say I'm just going to, pollute your brain with the word SHIT, but I really just had to use it. So let's just dive right in. I wrote this a while back. It was before the election, so some of this is a little outdated, but you'll get the gist of it. I'm just going to check in with Brian. I have 2 minutes. Okay, I have 2 minutes until the break. And by the way, when I say that I'm on a break, anybody watching this live on Facebook, please ask me questions. AMA, ask me anything. I think that would be really fun. So let's see. Actually, I'm going to read this after the break so that I don't have to be interrupted. So before we go, I just want you to know that you can have fun in politics. It does not have to be boring. I really feel like politics today, especially on the right, it's a bunch of stuffed suits. Every convention is basically the same. It's the same type of speeches, the same type of messages, and I want to shake things up. I noticed a patriot. His name is Mario Presents. He's in Los Angeles. He's a Latino, crazy patriot. He is out there fighting for America, and he does it in heels, like 7-inch heels. He's out there with his flag, "Don't tread on me." He gets out there, he gets in the face of Antifa and people harassing them. And people like he and I, we're shaking up the movement because politics does not have to be boring. So on that note, if you are in Utah, we are hosting a Halloween party with the Log Cabin Republicans on Halloween night. And I'm going to host as Lady Maga. We're going to have live performances. We're going to have, pumpkin carving, all kinds of stuff. It is ages 14 plus, just in case it gets a little too spooky. And quite frankly, when you're hosting an event, when people bring their little kids, it changes the whole vibe. We want it to be, a spooky grown-up party. So ages 14 plus. Was that 30 seconds, Brian? Okay, that was 30 seconds. The other reason we do 14 plus is because I don't want the bad look of trying to brainwash kids like they do at Drag Queen Story Hour. So that's another reason for that. So once again, we're going to be right back here on the Path Forward Utah. So glad you guys are with us. And on Facebook Live, ask me questions during the break. Do. Did I cut off too early? I did. A little early, sorry. The 30-second showdown. So how long do we have on the little break, Brian? 3 minutes. All right, that gives me plenty of time to say hi to you guys. It's great. Okay, so Laura Lee, let's see. I'm clicking see more on this comment. Hold on one second. See more. Well, that is not letting me see more. So Laura Lee said, "There's a reason J. Golden Kimball was my favorite apostle. Ha ha ha. Just speak freely, friend." Okay, now explain that. Why J. Golden Kimball? Did he do something wild? Brian's laughing in my headphones. Oh, he cussed. Oh, yeah, like in the 1800s, right? Oh, yeah. For those of you who are Mormon, like if you look up Brigham Young, like I was listening to a biography of him, he had a potty mouth. He just said it like it is. He did not joke around. And I think it's super, super fun to realize that these people were imperfect. They were totally just like crazy. Hey, by the way, Joe, I'm trying to click see more on your comment and it just isn't letting me see it. So it says, I'm trying to read your comment. It's white against white. White. I guess we got some white supremacy going on here. It says, "I've messaged you about Suni Blanks, a conservative, taking smack about you, and she's doing it again. She says she'll have." Okay, email me, admin@ladymagausa.com. Send me an email. Some people do take a little flack. Here in Utah, there's a patriot named Eric Mutzos. He was kicked off of the police squad because he would not do motorcycle tricks in the Pride Parade because he didn't agree with the Pride Parade. Neither do I, by the way. It's totally raunchy and disgusting. Anyway, some people message him and say, "Why are you associating with Lady Maga USA? Why are you associating with a drag artist? That's not conservative." And it's like, I'll tell you why he associates with me, because I'm more of a patriot and more of a freedom fighter than 90% of men in this state. Sorry, not sorry. Do they go to rallies? Were they attacked by Antifa? Did they do a weekly podcast interviewing everybody from pro-life to black conservatives to police officers on the border? Eric is my friend because I am a patriot. So let's see. Mario said, glad you're feeling better. Remember to check your mailbox. Your fairy drag fathers love you. Oh, that's hilarious. Actually, Mario, I did check my mailbox and I have your package that you mailed to me and I'm very excited to open it. I often, like when I'm discouraged, I'll save something like that for a moment of discouragement and I'll open it when I'm actually, when I'm needing a boost. So it's right in there on my kitchen counter. Actually, at the very end of this, I'll go grab it and we can open it on the Facebook Live. So Brian, how long do we have? 30 seconds. Okay, you guys ready for my Antifa thing? You're going to laugh. You're going to cry. It's going to be great. So we're almost back. Just give me a little jazz hands when it's time to get back on the actual podcast. Okay. He said 10 seconds. That wasn't jazz hands, Brian. Duh. Okay. All right. He'll point to me. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Path Forward Utah podcast. You can go to path4america.com to see all of the content that we produce here at the Path Forward Utah, Path for America podcast. Again, that's Path for America, PATH, the number 4 America. Of course, you can go to ladymagausa.com, LADYMAGA-USA.com to find out more about what I do as a drag artist. But let's jump right into what I wanted to share with you. I'm very proud of this. I think it's super fun. And I feel like we just got to laugh. Being attacked by Antifa was not fun. I actually cried after. I totally cried after. But anyway, let's jump right in. Okay, so here we go. My nightmare in Nancy Pelosi's hole. Hello, America. I'm Lady Maga USA. I was attacked by Antifa domestic terrorists in San Francisco. This is my story. Before I take you on a journey of insanity and turmoil into a dangerous third world setting, of course, San Francisco, a few words of introduction. I'm an alpha male at heart. Believe it or not, I really am. I am a flamboyant drag artist. I am not transgender. I denounce the radical LGBTQIA++ agenda, which has become embarrassing and predatory, sadly. So I'm using my creative talents to fight for America, and I stood up for President Donald Trump, and I dedicate my time, energy, money, and my heart to the glorious cause of America first. Yes, I'm a drag artist for Trump and for America, but more on that another time. So grab your hand sanitizer, grab your face masks. And by the way, I wrote this before face masks, so I was not talking about the communist COVID-19 84 masks. I was talking about wearing a mask to clean up because, of course, there's human feces everywhere in San Francisco. So grab your heavy boots, grab your Indiana Jones hat, and maybe a gun. We're going deep into the treacherous and disease-ridden jungles of modern-day San Francisco. Perhaps it's more accurate just to call it a shithole. We love you, President Trump. President Trump is the one who called some horrible country somewhere where they kill people and rape women and hurt kids and have no justice. He called it a shithole. So I felt like, you know what, let's just call it the San Fran Show. Okay, so when I say San Fran Show, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, that works. Okay. So anyway, I traveled from Utah to San Francisco to volunteer at an event with Scott Presler. He's a Republican gay man who's leading a phenomenal movement called #ThePersistence. He gathers volunteers around the country to clean up America's messes, literally, and they've picked up multiple tons of trash in cities like Baltimore and Los Angeles, so I wanted to join his movement. I was ready for a rather happy-go-lucky volunteer experience because online I had seen photos of hundreds of people beaming with joy as they worked together with Scott. But upon arrival in California, I realized that things would not be all rainbows and flowers when I overheard a conversation in the BART, B-A-R-T, San Fran metro system. So a soy boy, anorexic looking man and his pierced all black clothing female friend were having a chat. At least I think she was female. but she probably identifies as male, and he probably thinks he can menstruate. To be fair, the word does contain the word men, right? Like men straight. I don't know. Gosh, it gets confusing when you see these types of people, doesn't it? And yes, I am being judgmental, but that's okay. So I heard Soy Boy say, "It's so funny. I get more texts from Bernie Sanders' campaign than I do from my girlfriend." He was so proud of that. Okay, so I wasn't in suburban Utah anymore. So I arrived at my budget hotel near the Castro district on a filthy street with the thick stench of marijuana making me nauseous. I don't like the smell of marijuana. I know some people do, I don't. So a man who looked like Osama bin Laden checked me in without a smile. And I went up to my dirty room and fell asleep under a thin, cheap bed cover. Those gross polyester slippery kind, you know what I'm talking about? Like they're like kind of bumpy, and it was just so gross. So I noticed there was no air conditioning, and I read online that the Castro district of San Francisco was nice, and it was historical, and it was amazing. No, it wasn't. It was not nice. So the next morning I awoke with patriotic enthusiasm. I think the bedbugs were conservative and wanted me out of bed early. They wanted me to be motivated to get up and go. So I was ready for Scott's cleanup. I took an Uber to the San Fran Show Library and saw Scott Pressler and John Dennis. He was Pelosi's Republican challenger, and they were surrounded by a peppy crowd across the street. And Scott gave a moving speech proudly declaring, "We are a movement based on love." So we divided into groups and we headed out to clean up. I was probably singing the song from Enchanted, "Come my little friends, as we all sing a happy little working song. Merry little voices clear and strong." There were no squirrels, there were no rabbits, there were no animals to help us, unfortunately. So my diverse group of people was fascinating. We had Mexican immigrants, we had gay people, we had volunteers from Brandon Strzok's Walk Away campaign. I hope you guys know what the Walk Away campaign is and was. He was arrested for alleged, terrorism at the Capitol. It's absolutely ridiculous, but that's for another day. And there was an Asian man with his mother who spoke no English. So I spent my time with them. She was so adorable. She was there with her Trump gear and she was helping us clean up. Literally no English. So the conservative movement is supposed to be just, white trailer park, fat, gun-owning, bigoted, homophobic jerks, right? No, this group was Mexican immigrants, gay people, and this Asian guy with his mother who spoke no English. So please just remember that I must be lying because, of course, all Trump supporters are white supremacists and Nazis, right? Yeah, that's what we are. So I was frolicking gaily in the beautiful California sunshine, adorned in our colorful and festive Trump gear, and we headed out to clean up. It was a zippity-doo-dah kind of day. I've divorced Disney. I'm over Disney because they're woke, but it really was a zippity-doo-dah kind of day. So we entered the nearby rough areas, and to my surprise, there seemed to be a camping festival of some sort. Wink, wink. There were tents everywhere. It was a strange area to choose for a camp out, I thought to myself. But hey, it was a beautiful day, and I was sad that I didn't bring along my pup tent. I confess to being a snarky, sarcastic biatch sometimes, but it was more fun than describing the third world misery in those tent cities. You know exactly what I saw, but I just thought, you know what, let's be positive. We can just consider this a little camp out. So we started picking up trash, plastic bags, cans, bottles, and needle syringes galore. Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats have generously made sure that Californians have access to free syringes, to help them have fun at their campouts. As an Eagle Scout, I fully support people enjoying their outdoor adventures. Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. So we saw piles of needles everywhere, but we didn't see many plastic straws. Thank goodness, because plastic straws are banned in San Francisco. Actually, I think I saw a lady, it could have been a man, sipping a Diet Coke from a plastic straw. And I just thought, how dare you? Hashtag climate change. there's lots of people doing drugs everywhere and there's poop all over the streets. But the one thing that really, really hurt me was seeing this terrible, irresponsible woman making a horrible carbon footprint, drinking from a straw. But she was drinking Diet Coke at least. So we continued the cleanup. We were enjoying chit chat and new friendships. Like it was super, super, it was super fun getting to know these people. And then, drum roll, the moment came. All right, I think I've got 30 seconds, right, Brian? Okay, so I'll read this paragraph, then we can chit chat on the live. So, a moment in time I'll never forget. A moment of modern California splendor. The legend is true. There it was. Human on the ground. So more from that when we come back on the Path Forward Utah podcast. Again, you can visit Path for America, that's the number 4 America, path4america.com, and ladymagausa.com to learn more about what we are all about over here. And now we're heading into a break on this podcast. Brian's nodding his head, and I'll come back to you guys. So Jamie Wadman, hello. She said, good idea doing your podcast live. Yeah, I thought it really is time for me to step up my game. Like I'm broke, I'm scrubbing toilets. You know, I was fired from my job in the airline industry and I'm trying to figure things out. I'm hoping that I was fired for a reason. You know, you're supposed to believe that everything happens for a reason, but right now it just doesn't feel like that. So I'm really, really ready to like go forward with a professional career as a broadcaster, as a podcaster, as a drag artist, as a speaker, as a writer, because I have my degree in journalism. Like you guys, I literally won an Emmy for a documentary that I made during college, actually. They have the Emmys that are like the Hollywood Emmys, but they also have journalism Emmys. And there was a category for best student documentary, and I won it. I traveled to South America and I did a documentary about my time there, and I learned Spanish there, and I just wanted to profile, you know, the people and the experience. So I made a documentary and I won the Emmy. So like, I just feel like, yes, being a flight attendant was super fun. I got to use my people skills. I loved it. But I do have a degree and I'm an award-winning journalist. So I feel like, you know, doing podcasts, doing live streaming, all that stuff is what I need to focus on. So that's why I'm live here on Facebook with you guys. The only hard part about broadcasting live right now is like when I don't have you guys, I could take a breath. So I'm probably going to lose my voice by the end of this, but that's okay. You know, Lady Maga has like the princess persona, or queen persona. But once I lose my voice, I feel more like Ursula. Ursula has great powers. Oh, I love The Little Mermaid. Did you guys know I met Jodie Benson, the voice of The Little Mermaid? We were in the airport and I saw her and I walked up to her and I was like, oh my gosh, Jodie, I love you so much. And she said, what's your name? In Ariel's voice. And we talked, we took a selfie. She was so nice. And she's really, really religious. So she said, everything that I've achieved, I owe to God, and God gave me this gift and all this stuff. My only problem is, how can you reconcile being part of a company that has slave labor in China, making all the dolls of the character? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard. So, what up, Heather says, isn't it funny how life pulls you away from your dreams and purpose, and God brings you back? Yeah, well, I still feel like life has pulled me away from my dreams, not my purpose, but my dreams. I never expected to be in the situation that I'm in, but heck, you never know what's around the corner. And so, by the way, any of you on Facebook Live, if you know anybody who knows how to live stream to where you get like the tips while you're live streaming, I really want to do that. So stand by, we're almost back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Path Forward Utah podcast. I am Ryan Woods, otherwise known as Lady Maga USA, and the reason I address all of you as ladies and gentlemen is because there are, in fact, two genders. And Disneyland and Disney World and Delta Airlines and United Airlines, they've all taken the phrase ladies and gentlemen out of their announcements. And it breaks my heart. I'm not going to Disney probably ever again. And they, instead of saying, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the fireworks are about to begin. Who knows what they say? I guess they say, hello, LGBTQIA, XYZ, ABCD, EFG, HHK, LMNOP. The fireworks are about to begin. Okay, so where did we leave off? We left on the legendary moment of seeing human on the ground. So I was actually blessed to see this legend over and over throughout the day. Thank you, Nancy Pelosi. So as I knelt down to scoop up my first pile of human excrement, what a moment, and put it into my heavy-duty plastic bag, I heard a soft voice say, smells like socialism. I literally heard a voice say, smells like socialism. But guess what? It was the Asian man with his teeny tiny mother who spoke no English. He says, smells like socialism. And I was like, okay, I love you. Literally, I was scooping up the human poo, and the little Asian guy said, smells like socialism. I was like, you are right. So he explained, this was like the most amazing moment. He explained that he lived under Chinese communist rule. He said that the stench to him literally represented the concept of socialism. He said that his dream was to be a part of America and help Americans keep the American dream alive. So that's what's so funny is these people are always silenced. People who leave Cuba, they leave China, they leave Venezuela, they leave Russia, and they come to America, and they're terrified at seeing what's happening. So I love this guy, and I felt prompted to stand up and give him a hug. And he said, Americans are a beacon of hope to me. And I love you, brother. He literally said that. Love you, brother. And his mother beamed with pride, and I hugged her and him. It was truly just like an amazing moment. And every time I go to anything conservative, I have tons of experiences like this. This is not a random occurrence. There is what I call MAGA magic, Make America Great Again magic, and this is a perfect example of that. I actually got pictures with them, but he literally said, love you, brother, and he said it with desperation in his voice, like, Americans give me so much hope, love you, brother. And I know he said that because he was glad that I was there standing up for our country with him. So that beautiful moment made all the rest of what happened worth it. So let's get into that. Get ready for the ultimate San Fran show. What I haven't mentioned so far is that we were followed from the start by a slithering group of smug and obnoxious social justice warriors. They were filming us and lazily slouched around every time we stopped to pick up needles and human in their city. They were also giving us the bird over and over. But to be fair, I did say that it was a zippity-doo-dah day, and of course, you have to have birds in order to have a zippity-doo-dah day, right? So we asked them to help us with the cleanup multiple times. We were like, hey guys, you know what? We're cleaning up needles, we're cleaning up garbage, we're cleaning up poo, and maybe you could help us instead of just following us and filming us and giving us the birds, zippity-doo-dah, right? But they were working already very, very, very hard. They didn't have time because they were working so hard at being woke. So they have so much bravery, don't they? So much courage. It's a very grueling responsibility to maintain such a poignant level of disgust and pessimism. Their faces must have been so tired from those contorted and paramount expressions. Sigh, how hard they work. And to think they were probably already exhausted from diligently smoking weed and playing video games in their parents' basements. Alas, in spite of our detractors, we pressed on. To be honest, it was totally like a moment. I felt like the soldiers of the American Revolution. You know how the armies would always be followed by a gaggle of prostitutes and scalawags in times of war? It's true, like the soldiers were always followed by this huge group of people trying to sell stuff and prostitutes and, you know, bad people. So I really just felt like George Washington, because in the old days during the Revolutionary War, they were also followed by, you know, haters and prostitutes and stuff. So I'm not saying these people were prostitutes, but I am saying they gave that energy. You know what I'm saying? So feeling like George Washington, I pressed on, and my arms were getting super tired from carrying a giant bag of trash. And my mind was tired from ignoring the social justice warriors. Like, they were getting pretty obnoxious and pretty loud, and they kept trying to interrupt our conversations, and it was a little rough. So some of the social justice warriors actually lost their cool, and they started screaming at us. One portly, tattooed, pierced woman with, surprise, purple hair. And of course it was shaved on one side. She started screaming at a gay volunteer wearing a rainbow Make America Great Again hat. She had multitudes of outstanding things to say, including eloquent renditions of timeless ejaculations, such as F you and F Trump, F you, F Trump. She was screaming at us. It was totally insane. So watching her libtard breakdown, I wondered to myself, why do leftist women insist on looking like Rosie O'Donnell? I desperately wanted to lend her one of my drag wigs and teach her how to contour. Like, she wasn't, you know, she wasn't totally fugly. She was kind of cute. So, you know, my charitable heart just wanted to give her one of my wigs and help her contour. So riveting Rosie's hysteria was an ominous foreshadow of what was to come. This story does get a lot worse. That's why I decided to write it in a humorous way, because this broke my heart. So across the San Francisco Library, a protest had begun to simmer. So before we return to the gathering place across from the library, I need to describe one very special social justice warrior who followed me the entire time. I noticed that his phone was on me mostly, and I was wearing a hat that said Lady MAGA USA on the back. I wasn't all dressed up. So he's a little hard to describe without sounding, I don't know, I mean, I don't want to sound racist. So let's just say that he had a strange, wiry body, really dark circles under his eyes. He looked exhausted, and he looked like, there's no other way to say it except he looked like Jafar. If you've ever seen Aladdin, he literally looked like Jafar. Like, that's what he looked like. But no, it's not the live action Jafar with Will Smith. No, it's the animated one. Jafar in the live action one with Will Smith is actually like super good looking. Anyway, so Jafar. So let's talk about social justice warrior Jafar, or more importantly, his floral dress. He was wearing a like, just picture it, guys. Jafar in a floral dress, okay? So you see, unlike Jafar from Aladdin, who was clearly an alpha male in pursuit of Jasmine's toned midriff, this Jafar was, oh gosh, what's the term? I don't even know. Non-binary or non-gender conforming, queer, gender? I don't even know. So you get the idea. He was a man in a dress with a man bun right on top of his head. Really, like, what an interesting Jafar. So let's just take a pause to cringe. Cringe, cringe, cringe. And now we can continue. Cringe over. So Jafar took it upon himself to trail my every move. He took videos of me. He flipped me off while he was videoing. Like, he discreetly had his little middle finger at me while he was filming me. Zippity-doo-dah. And he ignored my request for help in cleaning up the Legends of San Fran show. So I'm pretty sure why he singled me out. Although I wasn't dressed in drag, my hat did have bedazzled jewels that said Lady MAGA in sparkly letters, because of course I, you know, bedazzle everything. And he knew who I was. I know he knew who I was, because they were following us, and clearly he would have Googled Lady MAGA. So we have 1 minute before the break, so let's just continue right here. So as I've learned time and time again, nothing pisses off a member of the LGBTQIA, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, LMNOP squared plus community than a Trump-loving drag queen. Okay, y'all know I am as flamboyant as a picnic basket. So when these people see me, I'm often singled out and targeted with the screams and everything because I don't have the right to leave the Rainbow Plantation. So I've even had 3 events. Now I've had 5 events canceled due to the leftist LGBTQIA mob that threatens the venues and sends them intimidating messages, including death threats. So we're down to 10 seconds that I'll hop back on with my Facebook Live friends. So again, path4america.com. That's the number 4. You can find all of our podcasts there. And of course, ladymagausa.com, where you can support my efforts as well. They play a little music when we take a break. Okay, so I wanna continue the story once we're back on the live podcast. So, oh my gosh, you guys. So if you are in Utah, be sure to come to our Halloween party. It's on the 31st. Like I said, there are going to be live performances. I'm going to be hosting as Lady Maga USA. We're gonna have pumpkin carving. It's gonna be so fun. You can go on Facebook and search Utah Log Cabin Republicans, and you can follow us. The flyer is on there. I also posted it on my social media, Lady Maga USA. So I would recommend, if it's not too late, you guys should organize a fun Patriot party as well. Like, you really should. You should totally just get people together and have a good Patriot Halloween party. Gordon, welcome. Melanie, I love the name Melanie. Melanie from Gone with the Wind. I'm more of a Scarlet because if I saw curtains, I would totally make a dress out of it. But Melanie, are you going to raise a parcel of mealy-mouthed brats just like you? Who loves Gone with the Wind? I do. Pam Ogden, thank you for saying wonderful show. See what I mean? I feel like this is what I meant to do, like regularly go, forward. Let's see. So Jamie Wadman said, Jonathan Harvey. Jamie, why did you say Jonathan Harvey? I mean, I know who that is, but why are we bringing him up? He's a hero in Utah. He is the director of Blexit. Allie West Martin. Love you, darling friend. I love you too, sweetheart. I hope you're coming to our Halloween party on the 31st. I know you're LDS, but it's not technically breaking the Sabbath because you're not spending money or going to a store, and it's a positive Halloween party. And by the way, it's not going to be evil. Like, I'm dressing up probably as like a dead bride, but I like spooky. I don't like evil. I feel like it's really sick when you walk through the stores around Halloween time and you see images of violence or masks that are like super disgusting and super violent. So let's keep Halloween spooky and not evil. I have a question for Brian, the producer. How long do I have once we come back? 11 minutes. Oh my gosh, you guys, time is flying. So there's Allie. Haha, that doesn't stop me. I'm going to try my darndest to be there. Yes, Allie, you totally should come. So what else can I tell you guys? Oh, see, I always have this huge list of things to talk about on this podcast. I wanted to talk about Poland. I wanted to talk about Zelim Bakev. He's a gay singer from Russia who was killed and tortured, and he disappeared, and they tried to cover it up by having a lookalike make a video and say he was safe in Germany, but he wasn't. So that's 30 seconds or 10 seconds. And I wanted to talk about the We Connect conference and my experiences there, but I think since we only have 11 minutes left, I can only get through the rest of my San Fran show thing with you guys. Melanie, I know Gone with the Wind is the best. So we're almost back, and then I can continue my story, and it should be super fun. Hey guys, actually no, hey ladies and gentlemen. I told you I was going to use that phrase. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Path Forward Utah podcast, path4america.com, sponsored by Brixton's Baked Potato Cafe in Ogden, Utah, of course owned by Jamie Renda. As I said, she's dealing with a family loss. Please just close your eyes and say a prayer for Jamie Renda right now, because she's a dear patriot and this is a hard time for her. So we're going to continue my story of the San Fran show. I won't say the word SHIT on here, but it definitely describes San Francisco. So we left off where Jafar was following me and filming me. So this queer person was queerly singling me out. So she, him, they, Z, XYZ was, he was pissed off, and I could tell. So later on, she, him, they, Z, he disappeared. So pay attention to that detail. This Jafar disappeared. So I'm going to stick with he for the rest of this because nobody has time for the gender alphabet soup. Like, I just don't. So we're going to call Jafar he, even though I'm sure he identifies as something else because, as I said, Jafar was wearing a beautiful floral dress. So it was a happy moment when we got back to our starting point to pile our bags of trash and mingle with fellow volunteers. I was making new friends and looking forward to Brandon Strzok's LGBT walkaway forum later that night. That event was also canceled, but let's continue. So the crowd of social justice warriors kept growing, and eventually on loudspeakers, they completely disrupted our event. Screaming, chanting, pointing. You know those guys at the end of the Jungle Cruise, like dancing around with spikes in their hand in Disneyland? This is what they felt like. That was them. By the way, those natives in the ride are being removed because it's racist. It's racist. So they were calling us every name in the book. So no, this isn't the little group that was following us. This is like a mob that formed in the streets of San Francisco. So they were calling us every name in the book and claiming that we were attacking the homeless. They claimed we were attacking them. They said we were destroying their homes. No, we weren't. So we stood up to them. I whipped out my Trump flag and I stood on a big cement block and I danced along to their chants. Blair White, the gorgeous trans woman who is a conservative, she joined me and none of us were intimidated. And Scott Presler was forced to shout and defend his movement because they were chanting horrible, horrible things trying to interrupt our peaceful meeting. So one hysterical protester tipped over a shade structure and threatened John Dennis with violence. He said, "I'm going to catch you when all the cameras are not around, and I'm going to F you up." This is what the guy said. It's on video. So the guy who did that in the crowd made us realize the situation was now very heated. So while I was talking with my wonderful new Asian brother who survived Chinese communism, someone in a mask and black clothing, the Antifa uniform, and again, this was before masks, like COVID 1984 masks. He ripped off my MAGA hat, and I immediately ran after him. Fortunately, he tripped a little bit, and I was able to retrieve my hat. But when he stood up, he punched me in the gut and quickly ran away. He hit me right here in the whatever that is that knocks the wind out of you. So I was shook. I'm embarrassed to admit that I cried from the pain, but mostly from the anger, and Brandon Strzok and others surrounded me, making sure I was okay. I was shouting and I was upset, and I was saying to the things to the effect of, "I'm never gonna stop! They can't stop me!" And I was totally crying because it was traumatizing. So I was screaming, "They're not gonna stop me," and everything, and I had the wind knocked out of me, and I actually hurt my hand when he tripped and I reached down. So when I calmed down, I knew instinctively that my attacker was Jafar, my man bun stalker in a dress who had disappeared. I know it was him. By the way, I have video of all of this story, and he was wearing a mask. And again, this was before mask, so I knew it was him because I recognized the nose and I recognized his wiry Disney villain body. So looking back, he probably assaulted me because he thought I had Aladdin's lamp under my MAGA hat. Damn those bedazzles. I shouldn't have bedazzled it so much. I'm sure he was confused and he thought I had Aladdin's lamp under my hat. I don't know what's going on. So people called the police. Someone had video of the incident. I was indeed correct. Jafar was my attacker. It was easy to identify him. The nose will always give him away, and those dark circles. His mask could not hide the upper half of his villainous face. And as we all know, most notorious villains aren't very smart. Get this, Jafar later returned to the protest wearing his fabulous 90s floral dress. He thought I wouldn't recognize him because of his mask and temporary wardrobe change. Wrong! I immediately pointed him out to the police, and they approached him. But all of the leftist protesters surrounded him, blocking the police, forming some sort of safe circle to protect him from racist police brutality. Eye roll. Eventually, the police broke through the drama queens and reached Jafar. I'll explain what happened with the police at the end of this story. For now, our third world adventure is actually just beginning. So I went back to my disgusting hotel and I nursed a swollen hand that was bruised and took care of myself, and I wanted to crawl in bed and cry, but I found out that Brandon Strzok's walkaway forum was canceled due to the same leftist bullying, and they canceled his event. So I pulled myself together and I began my 3-hour process of transforming myself from a bearded man into a sparkling drag queen, and ain't nobody gonna stop Lady Maga. So side note, no lie, I had no hot water in my hotel the third day of my stay. And when I say San Fran show is a third world junkyard, I mean it. We're talking like Somalia. It was so gross. San Francisco was so disgusting. So I took an Uber to Brandon's rally. I was welcomed with cheers from the walkaway crowd, which melted my heart with honor and joy. And unfortunately, their upbeat cheers were drowned out by chanting SJW leftists who also came to protest. So Brandon Strzok handed me a megaphone and I shouted words of encouragement to the crowd. So here's the irony. These radical leftist psychos were protesting gay men and a drag artist in the birthplace of gay rights and drag queens. Like what universe are we living in when we are the conservative ones standing up for freedom, and we're being protested? Gay people and a drag artist. So the insanity continued, and then another San Fran show legend was born, the bald screaming leftist woman. If you're a conservative with any social media, you've probably seen the video of this woman screaming at the top of her lungs right in my drag contoured face with 3-inch eyelashes. You saw me clap back with my bedazzled gloves and red nails. Like, this one went super viral with millions of views. This poor woman, it was such demonic delirium. Her screams came from the depths of hell. But can you blame her? She lives in San Francisco. How am I doing on time, Brian? Okay, I've only got 3 minutes, guys. I don't think I can make it through this. Oh, no. So as this woman screamed at me, I was thinking 3 things. 1, this girl could actually be pretty if she wore makeup and borrowed one of my wigs. Second time that happened that day. I don't know what to do right now, so I'll just aggressively Pelosi clap in her face. Like, she was screaming from the depths of hell like a demon, and I didn't know what to do, so I was just like clapping in her face, smiling. And the third thing I was thinking was, not today, Satan! So I'm grateful that the world saw who these people really are. And for those of you listening to the podcast, we are running out of time. So I'm going to continue this on the Facebook Live. I only have 2 minutes left, but I just want to tell you guys what happened. So I stayed at that rally. We were confronted by the leftists. It was total insanity. But when it was all over, I filed a police report because I had the video. I had everything to prove what happened, and the San Francisco police actually would not help me. And I'm going to tell the rest of that story on my Facebook Live. But just know that California is so dangerous. They're closing stores because they're allowing people to rob and steal up to $900 worth of merchandise. And it's unbelievable. They're also allowing people to attack. I was told by the San Francisco police that they would only send this person to counseling. Nothing would happen. And the lady on the phone was actually on my side. She said, I'm so sorry. It doesn't matter that you have video. It doesn't matter that you have proof. This level of crime is no longer persecuted, or, there are no consequences anymore. So that's basically it. If you guys want to hear the whole story, check out my live video that I just posted on Facebook. I'll post it in just a few minutes. But again, please visit path4america.com. You can listen to the audio of this and share it at fedbyravensmedia.com, like the birds, RAVENS, fedbyravens.media.com. Just Google that, fedbyravensmedia.com. And of course, you can always visit ladymagausa.com. You can support my work through my website. I love you guys. Everybody who listens to this podcast, thank you for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed this story, and never give up, stand tall, and be happy. Go forth and be happy, and let's save America. We got 10 seconds left on the actual podcast here. So let me just say, I'm grateful for every one of you who listens, and I'm asking you sincerely to share this podcast. God bless you. Okay, guys, so the microphone's only for the pod. Okay, love you, Brian. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, guys, so we're back on Facebook Live. So I want to continue this story. Hopefully you've been listening. Hopefully this has been fun for you. So let's jump right back in. We're in the middle of this mob in San Francisco. The crazy lady with the bald head. whenever I go to an event, there's often people who are like, oh my gosh, I saw you in that video with that crazy leftist bald woman screaming in your face. And actually, one of my best friends ever, her name is Alicia. She lives like 10 minutes from me. She recognized me at a rally, and it was that video that introduced me to one of my best friends. So isn't it cool that this insane leftist monster screaming in my face actually made it possible for me to make one of my best friends that I've ever had. So let's continue the story. I want to get through this with you guys. So I'm grateful that the world saw who these people really are. Maybe that viral video reached even more people than the Walkaway LGBT forum would have. I'm glad it was exposed that they were so harassed. So perhaps being canceled was a blessing in disguise for this forum. I don't know, because they all had lots of videos of it too, and maybe it was just as important to expose the leftists as it was to hold the forum. I don't know. Look on the bright side. So let's get back to Jafar. And sorry if it gets a little shaky. I have one of those like twisty wire things that's holding up the phone. So back to Jafar. So he was not in the crowd later that night. Obviously, the police had seen who he was. And so he was undoubtedly back in his mother's basement, shaving his legs, tweeting about the injustices of private schools not allowing dreadlocks, and pressuring his mother to pay for a nose job. Poor Jafar. May Allah bless Jafar. So at the time of my assault, it was a complicated process to go forward with my police complaint. I decided not to do a citizen's arrest because the police told me that Jafar and his circle, which included Antifa, would have access to my personal information if I did a citizen's arrest. And I'm still kind of worried that those people, I get really weird messages sometimes, so maybe they have my info, I don't know. But the police were carelessly holding my ID in front of the protesters, and they all had cameras. So that was a little scary. So the police didn't seem to care that we had video proof of the incident. Weird. And that should have been enough to take Jafar to jail, right? Like, he assaulted me, he punched me, he ripped off my hat. Clearly, he was violent. The police let him go. So when I returned to Utah, I called the San Francisco Police Department with my report information. The woman on the phone told me regretfully nothing could be done because of their district attorney, Chesa Boudin. I don't know how to say his name. Boudin. The lady on the phone said, have you been following the news about Chesa Boudin? And she told me that even their own police officers who had a bottle smashed over their head. There was a police officer, someone smashed a bottle over his head and it fractured his skull. He received no justice because Boudin believes that violent criminals need counseling for mental health and not punishment. What a load of San Francisco legend, right? Like, this is crazy. They're not even prosecuting robberies. Walgreens and CVS employees are watching helplessly as diverse robbers take their merchandise. So it's telling to know that Chesa Boudin's father and mother were convicted of murder and robbery, and their heists left 2 police officers dead. Isn't this interesting? The man preventing justice, his father and mother were convicted of murder and robbery and killed police officers. So Chesa, I don't know how to say his stupid name, Chesa Boudin, he is a descendant of leftist radicals. He spent his childhood visiting his parents in prison. He's out for revenge. The citizens of San Francisco, I can say shit now because I'm not on the podcast. The citizens of San Francisco are not safe. I never want to return to San Francisco without a VIP army tank. I'm not joking. It was so bad, you guys. So San Francisco is an example of what will happen if radical Democrats take control of American cities. This is why they are busing illegals into conservative states. They want us to be like San Francisco. Your city is under threat, and so we need the Make America Great Again movement now more than ever. And on a personal note, my mother was from San Francisco. In her home, we had so many little trinkets of cable cars and the Golden Gate Bridge. And I have countless childhood memories with my mother in what was a magical San Francisco. And, you know, the hilarious barking seals at Pier 39, the fresh, steamy aroma of seafood at Fisherman's Wharf, you know, the majesty of the Golden Gate Bridge. So to see my mother's city become a third world shithole truly breaks my heart. And what's most profoundly sad to me is that her father, my grandfather, was a proud San Francisco police officer. So I'm glad they're not alive to see what happened to me. And it's probably good that my mom isn't alive to hear me saying shit. So that's the story. You know, those of you who've joined midway, once I post this, you can watch this video. So there's a picture of Scott Pressler and me in San Francisco. It was an incredible experience. But clearly, we're in big trouble when you can be assaulted and punched by Antifa and the police won't even do anything. But, you know, they're incapable of rioting. They're incapable of smashing windows. They're incapable of killing people. Everything they do is justified because of white supremacy, right? So Lynette, Jackie, Sherry, Gary, I just want you guys to know how much I appreciate you for watching this. And this was a live video while I did this podcast. And I shared my whole San Fran show story on here. But if you just want to read the whole story, it's on my website, ladymagausa.com. And just go under blog and you'll see it there. And you can just read the whole thing. But guys, again, if you can email me, admin@ladymagausa.com. Subject, add me. Okay, admin@ladymagausa.com. Subject, add me. And that way, if I am kicked off of Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, like I was on Instagram, that way I have your email and we will be able to stay in touch. So once this video is posted, please share it. I think people will enjoy it. And Gary, thank you for joining me. And once again, my friend Jamie needs your prayers because her dad, he passed away last night. So prayers to Jamie, prayers to all of you. I love you guys. God bless you. And this Friday, my podcast is with Shamika Michelle. I don't know if you guys know who she is. She's an incredible patriot, gorgeous black woman. She's just on fire, and I'm really excited to have her on my podcast. And I think I'm going to dress up as Lady Maga for this one. I'm kind of thinking Thursdays can be like Lady Maga Day, and I'll do videos and lives and stuff in drag because I want to mix it up, you know, because you guys get an awful lot of me just coming on here, but I know, you know, many of you enjoy the Lady Maga thing. Plus, when I'm Lady Maga, it's so fun because I hop into that Lady Maga perky cheerleader mode, and it's a lot of fun. So, Billy, don't leave. I love watching you. Gary Sweeney, hello. God bless you. Billy, I have to leave. I'm actually still sick. And, oh, actually, hold on, you guys. I am going to go grab Mario's gift. Hold on one second. I'll grab a glass of water and then I'll open Mario's gift on this live. Okay, I will be right back. Enjoy my little Pioneer display. Coming. Don't go anywhere. Oh my gosh, you guys. I have been sick for so long. It's been like 15 days. I think I had RSV. Okay, this time I am not flashing my address on here. So hello, Mario. Whew. I don't know, bronchitis, something. Okay, so we're opening this little boxy box. I'm excited. Mario, if you're still there, can I read your letter out loud? Okay, I'm not flashing my address this time. Thank you, Billy. Mario, are you still there? Oh, what could be inside? Okay. All right. So here's the letter. And what do we have? This is so exciting. Here, I'm going to put it down here. Take it up here. Oh my gosh. Shut up. I don't deserve this, Mario. Thank you. So what do we have here? Miracle Worker. Green. What is this? Beauty? Oh my gosh, is this a face cream? Oh my gosh. Okay, let me read the letter. The letter will probably explain all of these amazing little surprises. So fun to share this with you guys. Okay. So Mario writes letters in beautiful cursive because the art of cursive is a dying art. So he said, Ryan, it was so nice chatting with you yesterday. I know life has been full of challenges, but we will persevere. Good things are on the horizon for all of us. I feel it. I've been collecting little gifts for you as we have adventures across America, him and his partner. The jar of moisturizer should soothe your ears quickly. Not only is it all natural, it's also blessed and made with love. Feel free to let your mischievous side out with the stickers at the gas pump. Oh my gosh, did I get Biden stickers? That's so exciting. Wear his protection when you need to and use the pouch to carry things you treasure or value. The world needs your magical voice, but I need you to be happy, not to simply smile in face. In face is drag language where you smile in face. I know, I put on a fake smile all the time, you guys. Like even today, I'm struggling, but they say, fake it till you make it and act how you want to feel. And I really believe in that. I want to be enthusiastic. I want to be strong. So yes, Mario, the goal is to be happy. Yeah. So recharge when you need it and you'll find magic where you least expect it. That's the thing about theory. You can't for the energy. That's the thing about that word. I guess I'm blind. You can't force it. Not every action meets with success, but what did we learn from the Robinson family? Keep moving forward. Necessity is the mother of invention and the father of innovation. Yeah, Billy, Mario is a great guy. You got this. Love Mario. Okay, so now I get to open the surprises. Oh my gosh. You guys, look at this journal. Shut up. Oh my gosh. To my friend Ryan, there's joy in every day. Oh, this is amazing. And you put stickers in it and you wrote messages in it. Shut up. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is so beautiful. Choosing joy. Happy. Be happy. Yep. And you probably picked that because my podcast is called Happy Today. Sorry, you guys. Uh-oh. A bracelet with a cross. I'm so wearing this. I'm going to wear it all the time. Jesus, take the wheel, please. What's this? Mario Presents. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm not going to show you these. They're the Biden stickers. I don't want to incriminate myself, but I did that. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I have those. In summer, Olaf, I like who I'm becoming. I need an extra little makeup bag. This is amazing. Oh, Mario, I don't know if you're still there, but I love you, and I truly, truly appreciate this package. And you guys go forward, be happy. Thank you for joining this live video. I hope, I hope I give you hope. Even though I always don't have it, my theory is determination is going forward without motivation. And you don't always have motivation, but you can always have determination. So be determined, you guys. I love you so much, and I'm gonna do the podcast live on Facebook for now. And Billy, you inspire me as well. I love you guys. And before I have another coughing fit, I'm gonna sign off. I love you.